My name is Luciano Ferrara, and I am an acoustic musician from Poughkeepsie, New York. I originally started writing music because I always had a way with words, and I was very good at English and writing, and the only thing was I hated writing because my hands always got cramped, and it was like, oh man, writing paragraphs and shit is terrible. So I also played guitar, so I thought, why don't I just take all my writing, shorten it into one-liners, throw it on top of a music track, and ta-da, there we go. Now my writing has an outlet. But then it evolved into a lot more, and it became a way for me to convey how I feel and what I think. You know, I wanted to commiserate with people, and I wanted to connect with them, so I thought maybe if they're feeling the same way as I am, they'll listen and they'll sing along and they'll get really into it and they'll want to know. I never had a natural talent for singing when I was younger. I was never a singer, I never had an interest in chorus and stuff, but I do remember when I was in like 9th grade in high school, I dated a girl that really wanted me to sing for her. She was always like, oh, you play guitar, why don't you sing? And I was like, I don't know how. I was like, I'm not a good singer, I've never really tried before. And she would push me and keep saying, come on, just do it. So I remember singing You and Me by Lifehouse. I remember singing that and Dark Blue by Jack's Mannequin. Those were the first things I ever sang. I honestly don't think that I would be anywhere that I am now if I hadn't been pushed to sing like that, because then I'd just be another guitar player looking for a band to join. And about a year ago, I finally finished, after like 2 years of work, my first EP, Growing, which was like foot in the door. You know, it wasn't the most spectacular thing anyone had ever heard. It was enough that people started to take notice, and my name became something that even if you hadn't met me, you might have heard or you'd know. That was really what I wanted to do. I wanted people to know who I was and what I was doing, and I just wanted the credit for what I was writing. So Growing was a big step. It was just the first. After I put out Growing, immediately I started writing bigger, better, stronger, you know, more feels. And that's really what pushed me into finishing my new album, cover to cover. So on my sophomore album coming out, it's a full-length 13 tracks, it's called Cover to Cover. And, Cover to Cover to me is like a big step up from what I used to work on and all the things I used to write with my first EP, Growing. Cover to Cover is all about moving past struggles and just accepting things as they are, because you can't change anything and you can't go back and rewrite the book. And no matter how many times you reread it over and over again, it's still written on the page and it's still set in stone. That's what I've been experiencing about this past winter. And Cover to Cover to me is really like chronicles the last year of my life, how I moved on from a lot of the problems I faced, and how I just accepted all the things that happened to me and just let it go. Cover to Cover is named Cover to Cover because when I read books, like I always finished a book, I always read from one cover to the other cover, because if you didn't finish it, how did you know what happened? And you know, it could be upsetting at that moment, but if you don't keep reading, you never know if it really had a happy ending or not. And you know, really, I believe that everybody, you know, you always have a happy ending at the end, as long as you just keep going, I guess. If you get stuck on things, you never finish, and you just keep rereading and going over in your head how much it sucked and how much you wish it didn't happen. If you don't keep going, you don't find out what happens after that. You know, it could be something even better than what you thought you missed out on. When I look at myself as a musician, presently, compared to how I used to look at myself, I always thought I was like the next big thing, and that, you know, this was gonna be it, and I didn't have to put in any effort, and I would just write it, throw it together, and people would realize how great I was. But now I see it takes a lot of hard work, and the last couple of months, I've just had my nose to the grindstone. I took 2 jobs and did all my booking and all my promoting, and I paid for everything, and it was a real struggle. But I think as a musician, it really made me stronger, and it made me appreciate the credit and the people I have now that are really interested, because I play a show and I see people yell the words back at me, and it's just like, it's the best feeling. Like, honestly, I would give up everything I have now financially to have a crappy apartment and be going on tour at all times, just, you know, just to see more people and just meet all these new people. Because just like in a book, there's always more characters, and you can always add new people, and, you know, they change everything in your life. You are who you are because of everyone around you. They shape you into who you are. Besides, like, your you know, inner struggles and things like that, you make yourself. You know, the world shapes you, and you just fill in the gaps, I guess. There's actually a song on Cover to Cover that is really important to me. It's the closer track, and it's called Author's Note. And it's a song about the town I grew up in, because at the time when I was writing it, a lot of the kids I knew, a lot of them passed away due to heroin overdoses and just taking the wrong medication, or driving when they shouldn't have been driving, just stupid stuff like that. And, you know, and there's a line in Author's Note that really gets me, and it's, I've seen too many guys lose their minds and then their lives because, you know, they gave up, and they used vices that weren't gonna help them, and they closed the book, and they just didn't reach the other cover. And it sucks, because some of them I wish had been around, because I wanted to see what they could have done. They had so much potential, and that whole town was just like, it felt like a huge graveyard to me. And I'm really happy that I'm not there anymore, because it just held me back. But sometimes I feel bad that I got away and some people just didn't. That's why it's the closer track, because that was the end of a chapter for me. And I still look back on it, and maybe I haven't moved on completely, but, you know, sometimes you just can't let things go, because they're still a part of you, and you just keep growing from it.
It's all part of the routine.
Before Cover to Cover, and even before growing, there was one thing that, like, really marked the start of my music career. When I was about 16 in high school, a friend of mine, Claudio Coppola, got in a car accident, and he was just a really good guy. He was a saint, and that really hit me, because he was just someone that, like, I didn't see every single day, and I didn't hang out with him all the time, but we were friends, and he had such good guidance, and he was just really amiable, and he was so nice to everyone. So it really struck me that someone like him could pass, and so I wrote a song for him called SYS, and I put it on my Facebook, and I was like, this is all I can do. It's like, I'm sorry to everyone that was so close to him, and everyone just loved it, and it just went off, and people thought I was like a hero, or, you know, I don't know about a hero. People just thought I was just a really great guy for about 2 weeks, and then everybody went back to being really mean to me. But what I'm really trying to get at is, ever since that point, I've always thought that Claude gave all he had to me so I could start what I was meant to do. And I always wondered, like, why he would pick me of anybody to help out like that. But I just really don't want to let him down, and I don't want to waste what he gave me. So that's why I try so exceptionally hard
at what I do, because not only do I love it, but I owe him my life because he gave me his. And he also gave me mine, because I wouldn't be who I am and I wouldn't be where I am without that. And yeah, it's a really rough subject, but you know, I grew from that point. And that's what growing was all about. And I don't want to get stuck on that and all the sadness that comes with it, and that's what Cover to Cover is about. So my real start in music came from Claudio Coppola, and I can't thank him enough for that.
If life's a book, I guess I'm still reading. Won't reach the end until I stop breathing. I've read every chapter this far, but I haven't gone from cover to cover. If life's a book, then I guess I'm still